October 16th, 1939. I'm sure I speak for my entire crew when I say that these past few weeks spent with our families was much needed. After staring death in the eyes on our last mission, it was a grim reminder that any day out at sea could be our last. We lost far too many good men on our last mission, and I made sure that I personally went to every one of my lost sailors' homes to inform their families personally, as I felt it was the least that I could do. Upon returning to receive new orders, I told myself that I would not make the same mistakes twice, and I will do everything in my power to ensure that no more men are lost to this damn war. For now, however, we head out to the North Sea, where we hope to sever the trade lines in half between the Allies. It's time to accept what happened in our last mission and ensure that we are completely focused on the task ahead. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? My name is Crazy Jester and welcome to another episode of our U-Boat series, and boy, we'll see if it's as exciting as the last one. Right after staring death down in the last episode when that depth charge nearly broke us in half, we were able to limp back to base, as you remember, barely making it back. I'm sure we lost far too many men as well on that last mission, but we have gotten a new officer, as you can see down here, and we'll see how well he does. You know, it's going to take a little time for the crew to accept him as one of our own, as he's got to build our trust. We also have some crew members or other officers that can actually be upgraded. We're going to go through that and see what they kind of skills we can give them that are going to best benefit us. But for right now, we are heading to the North Sea. We're just about in the area that we need to start patrolling, and we'll see what we can get ourselves into. We're doing very well on fuel as it stands right now, so we'll check out the area and see if we can't find a few. I'd prefer going after large cargo ships, but if it's not possible, if it's not feasible, then we'll take whatever we can get. But out here, I can't imagine we'll be running into too many destroyers or anything like that, and even planes. Definitely, I don't foresee us running into any kind of planes, as it's a little far from the eastern coast of England over here. But we'll find out. Important message received already. Captain, we've decided to implement a change in the assigned squares for your U-boat. Please head to the squares AN-46 and AN-82 and perform patrol inside of them for now. Okay. Well, that's no bloody good, is it? How far? Oh, okay. So instead of basically these two squares that we had to patrol, up these three, now they've just lowered it to this area. That's okay though. I guess we could still head down to the southwest over here and get close to the eastern coast of England. And just to the east of Hartlepool. Thank you very much for correcting me, as I was calling it Hartlepool. Change of course, gentlemen. We're going to the center over here. Once we get to the center over here, we will go down to periscope depth, bring up the hydrophone, and see just what we can get ourselves into. But really quick, while we are at it, I did say to a few of the viewers that were commenting regarding the upgrades for officers that we would go into that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start upgrading our characters and see what is available for them. Skills, you have one skill point available. Currently our engineer. Engineers are specialists in the usage and conservation of devices on board. So naturally you would probably want him to be an engine specialist. He's also got French speaker. This officer can communicate fluently in French, which is, that might be actually really useful. It may be useful during off-boat missions. So this is kind of new because before the beta, you had all the skills available and you could see what they were. They were available, but you needed the points, obviously, right? You didn't just get them all. But this one is new in that there's 2 unknown skill points. I don't know if you have to get a certain amount of these before these all unlock, like unlock 2 to unlock these 2, or you have to unlock all of these before these unlock. But it is, I am intrigued. What are these? I want to know now. So I think what we'll do, I'm kind of torn between Handyman, which repairs consume 25% less time, and the Mechanic. This engineer recovers some scrap from major repairs, and also when he's assigned to the command station, he is overseeing more complex maintenance tasks over the devices on the ship. This further decreases the inflicted damage on them by 5% for each sailor assigned to the officer on top of the base class bonus. But we don't often have, well, I don't know. I think what we'll do is we'll do Handyman first, and then we'll go for that next. So that's him taken care of. Dresky, who's our radio man. Radio men are specialists in telecommunication device usage. They may also obtain medical training. This is why I screwed up on the last episode. I was relying on a medic that I didn't have. I feel so stupid. Paramedic. The officer may provide medical help without the use of a first aid kit. And with the first aid kit, this is done twice as fast as normal. So we can go with our radioman, we can go full doctor. I mean, he could be a paramedic, and then we could also do medical coordinator, which this is new. The sailors assigned to the officer may be able to provide more medical assistance, but they do noticeably slower than the officers. You can go full medic with this. That's new, and that's pretty awesome. But I'm also thinking we should get this guy trained up on the hydrophone because he is just pretty epic. Sensitive hearing sounds good. Propeller recognition. I think because we are out at sea right now, we're going to go doctor definitely with him, but I think we're going to take the sensitive hearing because it's a 25% greater distance in his ability to hear. And I like that a lot. Next, we're moving on to our other engineer. So we already have one engineer who's a handyman. So this one can be a mechanic. I think that made that actually pretty easy for us. Oh, hello. We actually had 2 skill points with our radio man. So there we go. That saves that. We're going to make him a paramedic. And then for the Capitan, let's see what he's got. I think it's pretty simple for this one. We're going to go and use focus. The officer tracks enemy ships with the UZO and periscope 25% faster. The periscope is additionally stabilized in manual mode. Perfect. So that is our officers all upgraded, ready to rock and roll. Now, let's go ahead and do a little bit of time compression, get to where we need to get to, and once we get to around AN 57, maybe AN 81, we'll drop down and start doing the hydrophone tests, see what we can do. I also have... Ooh, new radio message. Merchant ship heard in Naval Square AN 547 or nearer. Hydrophone operator reports medium speed, southern course, carrying on with their other... Okay. Let's go ahead and actually drop down right now and see if we can't pick that up and see if it's heading towards us. Alright, we've made our way to AN 73, and we are going to go ahead and again go down, drop down periscope depth. Let's go ahead and drop down forward 1, get our radio man on the hydrophone, add an additional sailor for you, sir. We also need an additional sailor and or 2 for our diesel engines to conserve as much fuel as possible. A little bit of time compression here and see if we can't pick up anything. Ooh, and there we go. We have propeller detection. Oh, we have multiple propeller detections right now. As a matter of fact, this one is heading kind of towards us. Let's go ahead and go forward 4 if we can and see if we can't cut this guy off. Here we go. We are nearing this. Forward 5. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of time compression of 12 and see if we can't figure this out. Capitan! Go ahead and get you on the observation periscope. See if we can't see some smoke off in the distance here. It says ship spotted, but we don't have a radio officer. We'll get a radio officer right now.
Alarm!
Alright, let's see. There's the alarm, so we must be able to see it, right? It's got to be around here. There it is. I just saw it. Okay. Perfect. Looks like one sole merchant ship. Let's go ahead and start mapping out its rough course. It's going to be something like that, and we're going to come at it at a rough 90. Ship spotted, get that off on the BDU. Perfect. Get ready for this attack, shall we? Captain, switch over to attack periscope if you will. Thank you. Get that view going. Drop down 2 sailors from here. Give them to the captain, as that's a lot more important as it stands. Where are these guys coming from as well? This is a huge convoy, as you can tell. Alright, let's find this bad boy. There it is. Raise attack periscope ever so slightly. Already we can tell just how stabilized it is. It's a lot more stabilized than what we were used to. Perfect. Let's go ahead and lock on if we can. We know it to be a freighter, and based off that design right there on the front of the bow, we can decipher that it looks like it is an Empire Bell, actually. Go ahead and recognize it as that. We'll put a rough velocity as it stands right now at 7 knots, but we might just wait. We'll do a little bit of time compression. Get this thing just a little closer as we can afford to do so now. Go ahead and close. There we go. Let's get a proper velocity going, shall we? And start. First target of the new mission. Hopefully we'll center punch this, send it down super quickly. If not, we do have some demolition charges that I picked up before we departed. So I'm trying not to use 2 torpedoes on one ship, especially if it's just dead in the water, as that we just don't have enough torpedoes to play with. So I did bring some demo charges should we need to use them. Go ahead and stop. Set 8 knots. Okay. Angle on the bow, as of course we don't usually use angle on the bow. I usually use a relative course, and we know it to be roughly 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and set that. And a distance we know to 1100 meters. Perfect. Let's go ahead and send all this off and update everything for the TDC.
8 Knoten. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Winkel 101, Bug links. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 110 Meter.
Perfect. Everything should be set. Of course, we didn't have any torpedoes warmed up. What we have to deal with. Do 2.5 meter depth, and of course our gyro angle is synchronizing, so we have to wait for that to go before we can do anything else. Looks like gyro is synchronized. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and fire.
Los.
And so far, angle is looking good for the torpedo. We very well might have a strike here. And there we go, hit it right to the rear there. Basically blew a big old chunk out the rear end of this ship, and it is going down pretty damned fast. One thing I will say, I wish the explosions, and I'll certainly write this and hope that it gets changed or buffed. The explosions for the torpedoes are just a little wimpy. I mean, I want a bang. I can't imagine it was that simple of an explosion when we were dealing with torpedo hits on ships. I bet it was absolutely disgusting and loud and terrifying, and that's what I want to see here.
Unsere Unternehmung ist beendet.
Sie gehen unter.
There we go.
Das Handelsschiff wusste nicht, wie ihm geschah.
Beautiful.
Ein weiterer Sieg für uns.
Never knew what hit it. That is one merchant boat down. Lovely. Good work. Send that off to the TDC, and we do have a wreckage to go see before we pick up what's going on here. As a matter of fact, is that moving towards us? I don't know where it's moving towards, but we'll have to deal with that. We don't have time for new communications right now. Let's go ahead and surface the boat here, and we'll head towards the wreckage. Forward 1, please. Or forward 2. There we go. These poor little buggers just outside here. Let's go ahead and see if we can't. But we can't send a diver yet. Go ahead and get to the wreckage here and look for the captains and officers. There is Noel Jones, confirm. And the captain on his own boat. Okay, well, what are you thinking there, sir? So we've got exotic fruits, we've got med kits, and replacement parts. Let's go ahead and get those exotic fruits on. Why not, right? Get them on there. Let's go ahead. Exotic fruits, I think the crew would very much appreciate that. Ooh, and here we go. The plan was originally to try and come down south here to try and see if anything was coming out of the Port of London and try and meet it out here in between this gap, which they would have no escape. However, on our way down, we have picked up another, looks like radio transmission of a possible convoy, but we are submerged, so we are going to have to rise up and go full speed if possible. Try and cut these guys off and pick them up on the hydrophone once again. So let's go ahead and do that. We know a relative course on where they're heading, which is probably going to be something like this. So we're going to try and head them off. As soon as we surface, we'll go full speed, get some guys up here with the engineer, and go for it. All right, let's go ahead and see if this paid off. Let's drop down to periscope depth. It's currently 10:49 hours. You on the hydrophone, good sir. Drop down our speed to forward 1 so we have better hearing. And we'll see what we're dealing with. Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to see. So it worked out perfectly. They are following the coastline. Hopefully it's not going to be a defensive. Hello. Ooh, it's a bigger convoy coming this way. We might be able to do a twofer here. Go ahead and try to go forward 5 here and see if we can't cut this convoy off. And then we'll focus on this large convoy coming in. Alright, looks like we are finally about to have visuals on this group coming to us right now. Let's go ahead and get our Capitan on the observation periscope if we can, please. Let's drop 1 from our listening room. Here we go, but it is being escorted by a destroyer, which leads me to believe these very well might be tankers. Go ahead and get a rough course of both of these. I wonder if we can maybe strike both the destroyer and the cargo ship. Should be something like that, right? And we are currently away 1.9 kilometers away from that cargo. Go ahead and lower speed to 2, but let's try and close this gap if we can. Come in at a rough 90. At least 1.5 kilometers away is what would be my goal. Go ahead and get the captain on the attack periscope. And let's start warming up those torpedoes if we can. This guy is going painfully slow, I will say that. Let's go ahead and lock onto target. Freighter, it is looking like an Empire Bell from here. Let's go ahead and open up our velocity table here. And start. We could... Oh, this is going to be interesting. We could certainly try and go for this. I'd like to try and do like 2-pronged assault, trying to strike both the destroyer, the big destroyer, not the patrol boat here, and this. We're going to have to let this get a little far ahead, though. So we're going to be possibly hitting it at an extreme angle with the torpedo, which is worrisome because they tend to not detonate at that point. Get ready for that velocity to finish, and stop, set, 7 knots, perfect. Relative course of currently 90 degrees. And a distance as it stands currently, well, it's going to be roughly that angle. By the time he gets here, it'll be around 1.5 kilometers. 1,500 meters. We'll have 1 torpedo ready. They're all warmed up, which is good. Let's go ahead and unlock from that if we can. And find our next target, which is going to be this guy. You know, now that I think about it, it might be a little more wise if we just went after, as much as I want to, just because of the gap, there is more room for error. We could try and just go after this guy and do something like that. But it is only 554 tons. Okay. Honestly, I think we're just going to stick to our original plan and knock out this guy alone. I think that is going to be our best bet. 7 knots. We're going to wait until it is directly at 0 degrees, and then when it is at 0 degrees on our attack periscope, it will be roughly 1 kilometer away. You can even do it right now, 1.2 kilometers, but I think we're just going to wait a little bit. It'll be 1 kilometer exactly. And get that angle. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Redo that angle a little bit here.
7, Bug links. Aktualisieren.
1,000 meters.
Geschwindigkeit 7 Knoten.
Update that range. Let's go ahead and flood the tubes.
1, 0, 0 Meter.
2.5 meter depth, 30 knots.
9, 0, Bug links.
And it looks like we are ready to rock and roll. Gyro angle is synchronized.
Los.
Fire. What is our depth currently? 20 to 50 meters is not a good enough answer for me. I would like to have a better idea. We're going to go ahead. We're already at full stop. Let's go ahead and dive to 52 meters and bottom out because these destroyers are going to be all over us. Alright, looks like we got serious damage. I wonder if that's a little bit of a, I don't know, a bug, if you will. They always say just before impact that it's a miss. I'm wondering if that's a bug that needs to be reported, because it's a little annoying that they say that. We're still diving, dropping. We're currently at, looks like 25 meters, and it looks like we're actually bottomed out right there. Oh yes, we absolutely are bottomed out. gonna be a little more difficult for him to find us this way, and as soon as we turn off the gyro compass as well, turn that off, and we're gonna do blue lighting as well, please. Everybody, shush! And it doesn't even look like they're near us right now. It looks like they just buggered off completely. They have no idea where we're at, which is brilliant. Yep, they still have absolutely no idea. Look at that. And it looks like they're finally getting away. Feathers detected. It says right here. I wonder what's going on. Oh, you know what? This might be our ship that hasn't gone away, unfortunately. They still have this large convoy that looks like it's coming down, but it isn't. Okay, these guys are definitely moving away. Let's go ahead and go to periscope depth if we can. Okay, they're still in the area, but they're definitely buggering off. As soon as these guys are out of the way, we might just go check it out a little bit. We'll do a little bit of time compression so they can be on their way without us having to worry about them. Beautiful. Go ahead and get engines forward one, please. Let's start making our way towards the craft, and let's surface the boat ever so slightly. We are not going to be up here for very long, I can promise you that. 2 interactions nearby, wreckage. And there's who we want right there. Go ahead and confirm, come on board. Prisoners of war! And we're going to continue our trek northward here to see if we can't get at least one more kill before having to go back. Ooh, important message received. Hello. Oh, hello. We've got a new mission on our hands. Critical damage received. Oh, can we go help them? Go ahead and get on the radio, Mr. Frederick, please. U-74 has gone missing its projected position at this time of communication. Stop square in 577. Please investigate before 3 June 2024 at 12:11. Contact was added at the map. Well, I mean, seeing that it's, 1939, it looks like we have just under 100 years to get over there and go investigate. So you know what? Let's go ahead and take that. Why not, right? So it looks like we need to go and investigate over here. Let's go ahead and start heading that way. Go help these guys out. It looks like it said before our radio men went to bed that they needed spare parts. So we are going to assist in any way possible. See if we can't find contact over here. New mission, ladies and gentlemen. And we have until 2024 to find these guys. So get ready. Alright, we're in the area in which it said that they might be. Unfortunately, I am just not seeing them. They said they were critically damaged, but we got nothing out here, and it is basically pitch black. We have some context back near the western or eastern coast, excuse me, of the United Kingdom. We really need to try and find this U-boat crew if we can, to try and help them out, get them some spare parts if possible, but I fear the worst has actually happened. Okay, I have been cruising around AN-57 where we need to try and find this guy. I've been going up and down trying to find and locate this U-boat, and I can't, and I've exhausted most of my fuel. We're down to 40% just trying to find him. I think at this point it might be best if we just head back, go back to the port of Wilhelmshaven and resupply and get back out there on the next mission. I fear the worst again has happened, and this U-boat has unfortunately succumbed to the damage that it sustained, and we just got there too late. A shame, but it happens. This is war. Alright, 2 days later, it looks like we are back at the port of Wilhelmshaven, and as usual, it looks like it is a... Oh, no, never mind. It sounded like it was raining. Nice, bright and sunny day out. The men can get off the boat really quick, go grab a quick beer, but this is going to be a very, very quick resupply, and we are heading right back out. No time for breaks this time, ladies and gentlemen. Tonnage war, so far we're sitting at 14,000 of the 25,000 required. I'd like to try and get that done on this next go-around. Looks like we knocked out 2 vessels on our outing this time around, and we it says we failed and we weren't able to help ally, but I didn't see anything on the map that indicated a area of where we needed to look, other than the squaring that it gave us. And we looked and looked and looked, and unfortunately, I just never came across anything. But we did accomplish all the other objectives that were required, which is perfect. Ooh, one thing we can do though before we head out is actually buy some camouflage. Let's go ahead and do that. Upgrade that. And is there anything else that we can really... We can't really upgrade anything else on this boat as it stands. Conning tower and the paint job, but that's about it. Unfortunate, but I tried to upgrade it, it just won't let me. We can't even send an officer out to go and start unlocking new technologies as of yet. Beautiful. It took 15 hours, but I know you can barely see it, but look at that paint job. That looks beautiful. Really digging the look of that. Should help a lot. But this is going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. I think we did a good job. Got out there, knocked out 2 of the cargo ships that were, that's going to be less supplies going towards England. Help us overall in the long run. But if you guys have enjoyed this episode, please comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought. And again, thank you all so much for your kind words and support. Really appreciate it. It really drives me to want to make more of these U-boat videos and get them out faster. But I know it's been a few days in between each one, but at least we're trying to get them out. And likewise, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to smash that likes up button so we can get this video out to many more so they can see the series that Crazed Jester himself is making and getting out there. Hopefully it's an entertaining one. And lastly, if you are not subscribed to the channel already, please consider subscribing, as you will be notified every time a new video comes out, and you can keep track of this series as more videos come out. I'm going to get back at it, start making the next video, and until then, I hope you all have an incredible day. Take it easy, okay?